My name's Chris Bidwell. I've been a video game collector for more than 20 years. I've also was a finalist in the Nintendo World Championships. I've been gaming since I was in second grade in the early 80s when my dad brought home an Intellivision, and I've been obsessed with just the idea of controlling images on my television, and you know, the characters and everything else on top of that just made it even better for a kid. And I've gone from system to system since then, and I haven't really stopped except for a couple years in the late 90s. I just kind of paused, and then I discovered retro gaming and eBay, and I just started going backwards, and now you've got over 5,000 games down here in my room. Well, there's the thing. I was collecting for so long, and we bought this house like 5 years ago. The first thing we did was get the basement set up and just go to IKEA and go to town. And that experience of putting all these together and shelving these to make them look this nice, it's got to be OCD, right? I mean, that's got to be what it is. It satisfies something basic in my brain. I don't know what it is, but they've been going for that for years. Like the Intellivision had those nice gatefold boxes, and I had my whole set of them when I was a kid, and they were all separated by color, and it looked nice even then. So I mean, this isn't like a new phenomenon. I always get asked this, and I never know what exactly to say. And if you ask me next week, I'm going to tell you 3 different games. But I grabbed these 3 as soon as you asked me. Number 3, I'll just say Panzer Dragoon Saga for the Sega Saturn. At the time I bought this about 15 years ago, I only spent about $150 on this, which back then was crazy for me. But nowadays, that would be considered a huge bargain. RPG for the Sega Saturn. Number 2 would probably be Power Lords for the Odyssey 2. That's the only really rare game on that system. And I was fortunate enough to meet Ed Averitt last year, the programmer of this game, and also he programmed like 25 of the Odyssey 2 games, and he's a very, very nice man. And he signed it for me, and even if that ruins the value, I don't care. It's a prized possession of mine. And number 1, I'm gonna be weird. The first video game I ever played in my own house, Donkey Kong for the Intellivision. It's god-awful, it's terrible, but damn it, I was Mario, and I was playing my own television. I was playing a video game in my own house, and it's important to me because of that. And I have a nice, pretty decent box on this little. It's okay. It's Donkey Kong. It's a terrible game, but I love it. Nintendo World Championships. It was incredible. It came out of nowhere. My friend messaged me on social media just saying, do you work for Nintendo? Because they're bringing back NWC. And I was in NWC 1990 in Cincinnati. I made it to the semifinals. And I've been kind of obsessed with those competition cartridges ever since then. I have reproductions of all of them, and I've played all the games and pretty familiar with them all. I was on the top 8 leaderboard, and I'm on stage. I'm the oldest person there, and I'm playing against all of these speedrunners and other people that are even better than I am at NWC 15. And it was crazy, and I somehow won the Zelda competition too. So my 13-year-old self got my dream come true, and it was amazing. I couldn't thank Nintendo enough for even just bringing that back, just as in that form with retro games in it. It wasn't just modern stuff. It wasn't just Smash Brothers. It wasn't just Mario Kart. So, I mean, what can you say? That if they never do it again, it's amazing they did it this year, and then I got to be a part of it. I'm not as huge into collecting as I used to be. I'm more about sharing now. I've got this space, and as you can kind of see, I'm kind of already running out of space. There's not a whole lot of extra room for me to grow here. I can, make some maneuvers and fit what I've got, but I can't go buy another 1,000 games and have a place to put them all. So my focus these days is sharing my collection. So I have podcasts. I also run the Columbus Retro League, where we go out once a month to various game stores and play like retro game tournaments. And I'm coming across new friends that way, as opposed to just online in the collecting scene. Don't get me wrong, I'm still going to buy way many more video games than I can ever have time to play. But I do like the idea of sharing my stuff with my friends and other people than just hoarding this stuff to myself.